we look at these two shots here, the yellow line is basically a vertical line up from the golf ball.
Yeah.
And hopefully you can see quite clearly on this left hand one as you're looking, okay, how much you're leaning back behind the ball anyway. So you trying to move the ball back in your stance actually just causes you to move you back in your stance, which is, when you think of it that way, that doesn't make a lot of sense to be fair, but it's almost like when we're trying to do something, we're not quite sure what to do maybe, and you've done it slightly wrong, I think, unfortunately. So when you have moved back in the stance now, to get back to that golf ball, to get any kind of good quality strike, you're going to have to shift your top half over to over to here, over to here, over to here, an awful lot. Now generally what we'll see now is your head will stay back where it is and come back. So your club now is just that kind of bottomed out, pretty much there, I would say, which as you can see in terms of a strike is enough behind the ball. If the lie is really good, you might get away with it. On a tee, you'll probably be okay. Nice fluffy lie in the rough, you get away with it. Sat down on a tight lie on some of these bare lies we get in the winter now, it's topped or shanked all over the place, okay? So if we can get ourselves in a much more kind of neutral position here now, okay? So as we swing the top of the... Oh, I'm going to move the camera, sorry. Let's move that camera. There you go, so you can watch your head movement there now as you go back. Staying on that blue line nicely, good shots. I think the camera might move the smidge as I came up there, so it'll wobble a bit, but that's okay. So now as we come back to the golf ball, as you're coming back into it, look where you're still. So at the point of contact, your hands have kind of won that race effectively to the blue line, which is good. It means your hands are leading, which is what we want to try and do. The hands are coming in, leading the club just slightly, so they're more in this angle rather than this scooping angle, which promotes more of a downward strike, therefore more ball than the turf, rather than the old turf and the ball, or just no turf at all. Okay, and then as you swing then through the target, the body now moving and rotating around that left side, so you're finishing pretty much on that blue line. Okay, which is again is the thing that we don't always see in your case. Okay, now very often, as I said to you, if you aim your body square, so you kind of get this sort of square line and set up, you can do that, and there'll be a few occasions when you just execute the shot poorly and you miss it. Nah, so be it, okay. However, if we suddenly change your direction now and you aim over here and the ball is kind of there, when your ball position is sort of relative to your feet aiming way left, it's not too bad, but relative to where you want to go, it's miles forward. And so you just kind of you're always then trying to recover where that, and the ball will just seem, and there'll be some days when you just play golf and the ball just doesn't seem in the right spot. No matter what you do with your arms, that ball just seems to be, if someone's moving it, surely it doesn't seem right. It just seems like I'm going to miss it the ball every time, whether it's ground first, topping, thinning, shanking. It just doesn't quite feel right. And usually that comes from you're setting up in an incorrect manner, trying to adjust by doing this, or trying to find a ball, like a needle in a haystack, just trying to throw a dart blindfolded and hope for this. If we can say, right, okay, I'm going to set myself up, I'm going to be square, check that sternum. So if you need to just dangle the club from your stick, as long as you're not sort of manipulating it or in a very windy condition and it's blowing back and forth, which shouldn't be too bad. Just get yourself, again, just have a little bit of lean as well into your golfing posture, so it just dangles a bit more freely, as you can see, and then we can get ourselves, so your zip is kind of, there you go, just place it on your chest there, that is kind of where the ball needs to be, okay. Now if you just start sliding your hips to the right there as you go back, just there you go, when this sort of resets itself now if you let the club drop, there's your low point. Well, if you're then moving back off the golf ball and you move back here, if the ball is here and you're striking here, Martin, there's a lot of stuff between club and... exactly, you'd be just laying the divot over the ball if you're not careful. So, alright, so just be careful of that zip, that chest position. Where he is more of an outline of where the ball's going to be rather than in between your feet. You have the ball back in your stance, but when you put the ball back in your stance, you then just did this. And now you're just going to end up flicking it. Okay?
Good.